Using the system that I'm about to show you prevented me from organizing my closet for 2 years, but I'm gonna show you how I did it. If that random bag in the corner of your room can talk, it would say, "Girl, I thought you said you were gonna organize me 2 months ago." And if that's you, then this video's for you. Because once you finish this video, you'll finally feel motivated to clear out your entire space and to do it in a way that's manageable for you and that's not overwhelming. If you've clicked on this video, congratulations. Welcome to the corner of YouTube where we cultivate our productivity with Christ by our side. Drink of the day is an Italian sparkling drink. It's time to get this party started. So just as a general note, today the plan is to organize this closet and keep it in a way where I don't have to worry about it for a long time, while also creating an organization system that will prevent me from making this a messy space again. You have to take everything out. This will make you go through every single article of clothing when you put it all back, and it'll question whether you want to keep it or not. If you lay everything out, it'll help you deconstruct your mental relationship with everything. So categories are the main thing that you need to do and focus on right now. So just take one side of your closet. You don't need to do your whole closet. Don't overwhelm yourself. I'm gonna do 3 different types of piles with all of these clothes. I'm gonna do a donate/sell pile, then a rearrange pile, and then a miscellaneous pile, which is like, I'm not really sure whether I want to sell this or keep this, but try to keep that pile the smallest that you can. Really confront how you feel about this item. Try to keep that pile to a minimum. Okay, I took everything out and now it's time to put everything in piles. This side of my closet is usually where I store like all of the winter clothes and like long sleeve stuff and pants. I'm gonna end up putting a lot of these things inside of a winter box. That's where most of the pile of rearranging everything will probably be, so let's do that. It's time to go through the pants. These are so heavy. I've debated whether to buy a new pant rack from Target or really just sift through all of these and see if I really want to like keep all of them, because if I don't, then I probably don't need another rack. So I really don't want to buy another rack. 1 down, 3 to go. Unless you're going to do an entire rebrand of your closet, the biggest pile you should have is the rearrange pile, which is the pile that you put everything back in. But here is the pile that I'm going to donate/sell. This includes pants and also like long sleeve shirts that I don't use anymore, hoodies, stuff like that. So make sure you do everything in sections. I did like the long sleeve shirts first, and then I did my pants, and then that way you'll have momentum rather than getting stuck really on what to do next. Okay, so now I'm going to put everything back. It is up to you whether you want to do like a color arrangement. Personally, for me, I like to color arrange it in terms of its category. So I have like color short sleeves, I have like black short sleeve, and then I have like white short sleeves. So all the colors are not together, but they're within the same category. So right now what we're doing is that we're developing systems that are gonna work for you in the future. And if it doesn't, you can change it. You can go back and rearrange the things that you want to. I personally realized that over time using my clothes, this was the best option for me. If I wanted a long sleeve, I go to the long sleeve section and then I pick whatever color I want, rather than going to the color and then picking out if I want a long sleeve or a short sleeve. Usually you think the other way around, at least personally for me. So just find your wheelhouse, find the way that works for you, and then change it if you need to. So now this side of the closet in terms of clothes is organized. I'm gonna now attack all of the purses and all of the shoes that I have down here. This is where I want to start to talk about specificity, because that is extremely important when you want to go ahead and rearrange everything again. You have to have a very specific place for everything. And I'm not talking about, oh, this is where I put my jewelry or this is where I put my shoes. Like, I get it, but where exactly do you put your heels compared to your sneakers, compared to your sandals or whatever? And have a specific corner for everything, because once you have that in your hand and you're gonna put it away, there's a very specific spot for it. What this does is prevent piles from happening. But all of this goes to point of performance, which I'm gonna let future Lauren explain that for you.
Hi, just a pickup order for Lauren.
Sure, can I have 2?
Yeah.
Thank you, 2. I got the horchata one today and it's better than I expected. I'm here in the Target parking lot because I'm going to get some storage bins to put all of my winter clothes in there, but I wanted to get a little bit more into how you specify where you put all of your things. The mess grows where the rules are vague. If you have a general area where you put things, it's not going to be easier to put it away because it requires more brain power. In the moment when you're organizing, you think like, okay, this is where this goes, this is where that goes, but it's really hard to imagine the day-to-day. For example, I have a hand lotion right on my bedside table table, and that's exactly where I sit down right before I go to bed, and I put lotion on my hand. If you have a very specific corner or a part of your drawer where you put that, it's easier to put it away because it doesn't require that much brain power. But this is just the experience that at least I went through. I know that I'm more likely to put it away, and this actually avoids your room from spiraling into a complete mess because you know, okay, this is where the hairbrush goes, this is where the hand lotion goes, and I have it in my hand. I know exactly where it goes, which leads me to point of performance. So point of performance can really refer to the exact time or location where work is done. So for example, going back to the hairbrush example, if you brush your hair next to the vanity, you better believe you're gonna have your hairbrush right in your vanity. If you have your hairbrush like on your desk or like in the bathroom and you tend to brush your hair in your room, be a lot more specific. And this can be as specific as you want it to be. If you want to put the hairbrush on this side of the drawer and not the other side, then make it that specific. I think that once you do that, it kind of becomes muscle memory. Like, I know exactly where my hairbrush has been for the past 4 years, and I always put it there at the same exact location. I can throw away the hairbrush and get a new one if it's too old, and it's always in the same location. So knowing exactly where you put everything and making sure that it's right at the spot where you actually tend to use it will allow your room to not become messy because it's right there in front of you. It's hard to kind of just leave it alone. I have to turn off the car. It gets way too hot in here, and I also have a sweater. Probably not a good idea. So if you don't know exactly where you do things, or it's really hard for you to imagine like when you use specific things, I invite you, like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but actually play out in your space, imagining yourself doing your morning routine or doing your night routine or whatever. Choose a moment where you're actually doing your morning routine and realize, okay, why did I walk so far to get my skincare stuff? Why did I walk so far to get my hairbrush? Can I put this in a place where it's a lot easier for me to put it away, that it's a lot closer? Or is there something in the space that I'm using that can be put somewhere else and I can replace it with that? I think asking yourselves those questions makes it a lot easier to know exactly where point of performance is in your life, and then you can move out those things and it's a lot easier for you. I know I sound like your mom right now, but trust me, this works, and this is what's worked for me, at least for the past 3 to 4 years, where I've noticed that it takes so long for my room to actually get a little bit disoriented, because it's gonna get disoriented. There's gonna be things, you don't use those clothes anymore, so you need to go and like reevaluate your system. But if you try to avoid it as much as possible, I think this is the right way to go. I mean, it always goes back to like, the Lord gave you this specific space in your life. What are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna use it to the best of your ability? And how is it gonna actually glorify Him and make your space a lot better for you to do the things to glorify Him? If it's not functional, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to God, and what are you gonna do and how you gonna fix that is up to you. And that's why I'm so glad you're in this video, because what's helped me personally, and I hope it'll help you too. So I'm gonna go to Target and I'm gonna get a couple of storage bins, because I never really had like a winter clothes scenario, and so it never really got bad until now, because I started changing my style, and so I started getting new clothes and keeping the old ones. Now that I've donated a good amount of it and took out all the winter clothes, I have so much space in my closet. I want clear ones so that I'm able to see what's inside of them, especially something that's like clothes. So I think this is the perfect size. Maybe I can use this one for kind of like the fluffy, bigger jackets. Maybe this one for like the smaller long sleeves. Okay. I'm sweating. I'm taking these. So the big one costs $9 and the smaller one costs $6. I paid $15 for both of these, and they're gonna store all of my winter clothes for many years, so that's perfect. One for kind of like the hoodies or like the long sleeves. I don't have too many of those, but I have more like bulky ones, or more that will take up more space. I'll have to see. I can always return and get like 2 tiny ones or get 2 big ones. Personally, don't think I needed 2 big ones. I got this huge other one. I can always store different stuff in there in case I need to like have something in there for my closet space, but other than that, we're good to go. So now I'm gonna do this side of my closet, and this is what I said about being specific, because I was specific 2 years ago. This jewelry station that I have here in this corner, I don't have to redo this because I don't let things pile on. The moment that I have something here, I will make sure that I address it as soon as possible, because I don't want a messy area, because then my mind gets cluttered, and I already have a system in place for this. I was originally gonna buy this to just put on jewelry at the same time as I saw myself in the mirror, container here, but I never really used it, so I ended up using the little bottom part to put like things that I'm gonna put on later. For example, in there I have these little earrings that I took off like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm planning on putting them back on a little bit later, but right now I have these silver ones, and then later on I'll put this silver one on, and it's there for now. So even the kind of like the miscellaneous piles that you have, like, have a very strategic place for them, and I didn't find that once I did my closet. Like, it took a couple of weeks for me to figure that out and figure that that system worked for me. So I've had a couple of things on there before. I'm gonna focus on these clothes right here because there are some shirts that I noticed since 2 years ago when I did it that I don't really wear them, and I don't want to keep them using up space. Let's do that. But before we continue, I'm gonna have a little strawberry matcha break because I've been obsessed with them lately, so I'm gonna do one. So cozy and perfect. Homemade strawberry puree, and I'm using matcha curry. It's the best matcha that I've found so far. If you have other matcha recommendations, please let me know. I want to try different types of matchas. Found a new kind of love for it lately. Okay, this is completely empty. I am now gonna do the same thing that I did on the other side, so make sure that you're consistent and that everything is specific. Set it up in categories, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Resell / donate, then I'm gonna do kind of like a rearrange pile, and then I'm gonna do a miscellaneous pile, making sure that the miscellaneous pile is the smallest pile and that there's not a lot of things in there. Be very strict with yourself. If you really haven't used it in the past year, I would say, so like through all the seasons, you went through all the seasons of the year and you never used that article of clothing, then maybe it's time to donate it or to throw it out, depending on what the quality is. You need to also make room for like new things and new clothing and new types of styles that you like. So it's time to redo the same thing again. Okay, I'm done with this section. Now I'm gonna move to the middle section, so trying to keep it digestible. My third drink in the video. Okay, it is the next day. I'm doing this in chunks. So the next chunk I'm gonna do are these top shelves. There's not much I need to organize. I still want to sift through it. This is usually where I store like all of my leftover makeup, some things that I wanted to keep, and also receipts and containers. So I'm gonna sift through this because a lot of these containers I don't need anymore. Whilst I do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's gonna happen after you finish your entire room, space, closet, whatever you're cleaning up. Don't question too much where you put things, because at the end of the day, you can always go back and kind of reassess where everything is. So this will be time to evaluate and see if everything's working out. The biggest thing you have to ask yourself is, can I keep this long term?
So something very strange happened. The moment I started saying a Bible verse, my mic died. So I don't know what that means. Take it for what you will, but that's exactly what happened. So if the sound is a little bit different, that's exactly why. I'm fully speaking into a dead mic and I have no idea. So
be realistic. Is this not working for you because you're just too lazy to put it away? This goes to Proverbs 21:25. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. Are we refusing to labor? Is it just something specific that we don't want to put away, like a hairbrush back in a drawer? Does it actually not work for you, or are you actually just being lazy and not having to put it away? I went through this process. So if it's not working, tweak it, but don't abandon it. Make it more specific. With all of these things said, just keep this in mind. Do not sacrifice specificity for convenience. If you have a specific place for something and it's actually not working for you, find another place to put it that's more convenient, but don't just like leave it willy-nilly and just like not worry about it. For example, one time I had my pencils like inside of my cabinets, and every time I would use my pencils, I would put it in my cabinet, but I just stopped doing that. It was way easier to just leave them on the desk. And I noticed that, wait, I think I actually just need a pencil cup to put on my desk rather than having it inside of a drawer, because I'm more likely to like just grab a pencil, grab a sticky note, write the sticky note with the pencil, and then put the pencil back in the pencil cup. And it's a lot more specific that way rather than having to worry about, oh, now my desk looks messy because there's a bunch of pencils and stuff on it. So I kept the specificity, but I didn't sacrifice it for the convenience. So now there's a pencil cup on top of my desk. If you want your desk to look even nicer and cleaner and you don't want anything on your desk and you just want it all in your drawer, that is completely up to you. All depends on like what your preferences are, and then hopefully making a decision out of that. I'm done with this top area, and now I'm gonna sift through my jewelry. Hi, I'm back. It started pouring rain outside, so it's all cozy in here now. I made another coffee, and I'm ready to tackle the top shelves over here. I have all of my containers here. I don't know, I might be able to fit all the clothes in the big one, but I'll see. These are all the winter clothes I have in this laundry basket. So I'm gonna see, I'm first gonna prioritize like the big bulky ones for the big one, and then if I have space, I can put in the thinner long sleeves. Again, trying to keep it very specific, but first I have to look at the top shelf and decide what I want to take down. But again, we're doing everything in the same order. I'm taking everything off of the shelves and then putting the winter clothes inside of the container, then putting the container up there, and then trying to see what else I can fit, because if I take everything down, I have to put everything back up and it'll force me to sift through everything. So hi. I'm doing this in pieces once again. I'm doing the other side now, and then I'm gonna see if I can fit the boxes on this side or maybe on that side. I don't know yet. Whatever is ideal to save some space, because I don't need these to be in point of performance. I just need them to be something that saves a little bit more space. I don't need this to be really accessible, so I can just put it in a place where it consumes the less amount of space. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem. I basically have everything organized. I'm just putting everything back, and this container is too big to fit between the whole of my... I'll show you because it's really hard to explain. I don't even know how I didn't remember this, because this has been an issue with my closet for a long time. The distance between the shelf and the entrance of my closet is like a very small space. This does fit like once it's on the shelf, but it's really hard to get it up there because it does not fit. I can't get it up there. I fit the little tiny one, and I think what I'm just gonna do is get 2 of the tiny ones. I'm gonna go really quick to Target, even though it's already nighttime. I just want to finish today so that I can close this chapter in my mind. So I'm gonna do that. This thing is huge. We're back in business. I bought the same one that I have up there, and then I got 2 larger ones. They're the same height as the other one, so they fit up there, but they're just a little bit longer so I can fit more stuff. We're in a better spot now. I did it. After 3 days, I finished my entire closet. I made sure that every single thing that I have is in point of performance, that it's super specific. I try to be very hard on myself, and I took away / donated a lot of the things in my closet that I wasn't using for the past like year or year and a half. These are all the long sleeves that I use, at least for church, so I still want to use them for the summer because my church is like freezing cold. And then I stayed with all the skirts, I want all the pants, and then up here I have all the winter clothes, and they're really accessible. Last minute Target trip, but it was so worth it, and now it's over. And I mean, there was a lot more specific things that I went through, like my excess makeup stuff and all of my heels that I have stuck up here that I don't use often. I don't want to have them all the way down here. So I feel 10 times better. I've been wanting to do this for a couple months, and I'm finally getting around to it. Brand new fresh start for the summer. You got this. Be diligent. Be intentional, put everything in a very specific place, and just be very real with yourself and ask yourself if you're actually going to use this, if it's just taking up space. Congratulations, you passed the exam. You're ready to go out into the world and organize your own space with all of these things in mind. If you have any trouble, just leave it in the comments down below and I'm happy to answer. And if you're still having trouble with organization and a prioritization with productivity, I recommend you watch this video that I did for goal setting for 2025. I'll leave it right here. It's a really, really great way to tackle the things that you need to do for the year. I know it's the middle of the year, but it's never too late. If you enjoyed this video, please like it because it helps me so much. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos like these, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless you. Bye.